forward. Moving on, Paul Miller said, is it okay to hope that Russell Crowe will go gladiator on Putin if they should ever meet? That is an excellent question, Paul, so let's find out. He's an Oscar-winning actor, a newly anointed director and the owner of a rugby league club. He's the one and only Russell Crowe! Welcome to the show.
It's an all right couch. I'll be honest with you, I'd like a better one.
Yeah.
Are you not happy with the couch?
Well, how come he gets a desk? It's discrimination, that's what I think.
Which, I mean, we're a TV station. I'm sure we could find a better couch around here somewhere if you want one.
Oh, I want that desk.
I don't really see you in that desk.
I am loving seeing
want
Adam
the desk
Hills shit
and I want-
himself.
I'd like the desk and I'd like my own bullshit button.
Oh, mate, I can show you one if you want. They're all on eBay at the moment. I'll sort you out.
plenty.
I'll give you one for free.
I'm not going to lie to you, I'm fucking terrified.
I'm not sure how long it reaches, but...
That's not the first time you've said that.
What would you say to Vladimir Putin if you ever came across him?
Oh, I'd probably say, g'day, Vladimir, thanks for wearing a shirt.
Excellent. You've been in Russia recently, though, haven't you?
I have, actually. And it's a funny thing, because, we have... I see you're obviously very passionately anti-Putin, but I think the judge of a world leader is what they actually have done for their own people. And if you look at the changes in the Russian economy, and if you just walk the streets of Moscow now than from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it's a significantly more joyful place. And look at the complications he's got with the population that you pointed out, of 140 plus million people, that speak 27 different languages, and you ask the man on the street in Moscow and they seriously, they really dig this guy. Wow. Now, I'm not saying that the popular vote is always, because there has been, that sort of situation in the past, Adolf for one, He was very popular in his day. But yeah, I think, a lot of Russian people would argue for him because of what he's done for the country as a whole.
Interesting, OK. Who would scare you more, ISIS Putin or the guy that killed Lucy Beale on EastEnders?
Listen, man, this ISIS thing, we used to fight empires, right? And then we started fighting countries. Now it's a concept. It's just a floating concept without borders. It's just getting stranger and stranger.
It's possibly our fault for declaring a war on terror in the first place.
One word. That word.
We've got plenty of news stories to throw at you tonight, but I want to start with Philip Shanley, who asked, is it OK for a man with a bounty on his head by Al-Qaeda? Stop laughing at the idea of a man with a bounty on his head.
If all they did was put chocolate bars on people's heads, I think we'd like them a bit more. That's all I'm saying.
Caramello, though, is better, right?
I love that Russell Crowe comes on and makes a really good point about Vladimir Putin and you laugh at chocolate bar.
Is it OK with a man with a bounty on his head by Al-Qaeda to walk around posing a risk to others? Hashtag Copenhagen shooting, hashtag Lars Vilks. Now, this is, of course, referring to the Swedish cartoonist Lars Vilks, who was assumed to be the target of an attack in Copenhagen this week that killed a policeman. The thing is, there are lots of people walking around with fatwas on them. Do they all have... I don't think everyone can... I did a play in Edinburgh one year called Breaker Morant, an Australian play you'd be aware of. Salman Rushdie was in the audience on our opening night.
All right, big shot.
Sorry?
All right, big shot.
Oh, listen, that tells me two things. One, he's not scared of a fatwa, and two, we had a really small audience. When Salman Rushdie goes, do you know what, I think I'm safe sitting in that audience. But you had a similar thing with Noah, the movie that you were in.
Yeah, we had multiple fatwas.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not sitting next to you anymore.
It's not just like their rating system for films, and actually it was a good review.
Yeah. No, I think it's the opposite.
That'd be great on a poster. 5 stars, 3 fatwas. That's how you know it's a good movie.
And the reason for that is that Noah is one of the messengers in the Quran, and it's supposedly against Islamic law to represent anyone that's a messenger in the Quran.
That's right.
Because that's that weird thing, isn't it? That people forget that Muslims and Jews and Christians all worship the same God. but they just believe in a different prophet. Jewish people believe that the prophet hasn't arrived yet. Christians believe it was Jesus, and Muslims believe that it was Muhammad, which is basically, they all support the same team, they just disagree on who's the captain. Look at how quiet everyone's gone right now. Let's move on from that, shall we?
I'm going to stay quiet and see how you dig yourself out of this.
Just drowning,
Let's talk about your movie, Russell.
No, Adam, there's more religions. Carry on.
Oh, no, hang on. How's this for a link? Speaking of digging, let's talk about your new movie, The Water Diviner. Which is the first
Not good enough.
It's the first movie you've ever directed. Can you explain the story for those who don't know anything about it?
The Water Diviner follows the story of a man called Joshua Connor. He has 3 sons, and they go to war, First World War, and all of them get shot on the same day at Gallipoli.
Yeah.
And 4 years after that battle, the grief drives his wife crazy, and she commits suicide. So he's left with nothing. So based on a graveside promise, he goes from Australia to Turkey, searching essentially for the bones of his sons.
And it's based on a true story, isn't it? It's based on the story of a farmer
It's based on a quote from a book by C.W. Bean, who was an Australian historian who was at Gallipoli. And he quoted a letter from a guy called Lieutenant Colonel Hughes, this is Cyril Hughes, where Hughes is on the battlefield as part of the Imperial War Graves unit, basically digging up bones and trying to identify them and then bury them. And the quote was, "One old chap managed to get here from Australia today looking for his son's grave.
Wow.
We looked after him as best we could, and we put him on a boat to Brindisi." So
Right.
the writers spent 2 years researching who that could have possibly been, and they've reverse engineered a story to meet that line.
And we've got a scene from earlier on, before the boys go off to war, in which your character saves his sons from a dust storm. And Russell's not only riding a horse in this scene, this was actually your horse in real life.
It was,
Isn't it not a stuntman? Is that you?
When it comes to the horse riding, I always try and do my own riding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, bear that in mind when you watch this.
It's all right, boys. It's all right. Hey, Ed, what's the magic word? The one that makes the carpet fly.
Tonga? Tengu, you wombat?
That's it, Tengu. Come on, cuddle up. Get tight. Close your eyes.
It's peeping, Dad.
Ed, close your eyes. It only works if your eyes are closed. All right, boys, let's get out of here, all together.
Tengu!
Goosebumps. I forgot Goosebumps too. And apparently when you showed the film in Turkey, it got a standing ovation, is that right?
It was an incredible reaction, man. It was unbelievable. It was a big, gigantic theatre, a couple of thousand people there. And at the end of the film, they were applauding, and they had applauded during the course of the film, you know?
Yeah.
And then they were applauding at the end of the film, and they all stood up, and I had to stand up in the theatre and walk out. And there's like a couple of thousand, so at least 1,000 of them women. But, you know, the women were all dressed up.
Yeah.
And in Turkey, that means a little liberal application of kohl on the eyes, you know? And so they'd all been crying. So it was like being in a scene out of some zombie movie. As I start walking towards them, go, whoa, there's like all this stuff on my face. Like, hey, glad you like the film, see you later.
And look, now, I have to be honest, Alex is an enormous fan of yours. And it has been so excited that you're coming on the show and that you're on the show, and has always wanted to act opposite you.
I'm sorry about what's about to happen.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I've got a couple of scripts here. Like, this is just something that I've written. Now, look. I'll just give you a brief synopsis. This is Gladiator 2, Son of Maximus. I was just wondering, maybe it'd be right if you played the ghost of Maximus. And then we just go over there and just go through this scene.
Can I pick whatever voice I want?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to pick a voice.
So it doesn't have to be...
I mean, look, ideally, but if you're a method actor, you pick what voice. I mean, his voice might have changed in death. He hasn't...
He hasn't said much since 184 AD. So
No, exactly. Well, fair enough. And I'm on
bit of
board.
dust in his
yeah,
throat.
I'm on board with the voice thing. Shall we? Do you want to just
Oh, we
take
have
a
to
step
get up
back?
and do this?
Yeah, we absolutely do.
it's really not good enough to do that, you know.
It's just we need some gravitas for
We
the
do?
scene. I have been thinking this through. So if you can just stand there.
Oh, that's my mark.
Yeah, that is your mark.
I'm the ghost of fucking Maximus. I'm a fucking ghost. They don't have marks.
I haven't thought that bit through. I'll do a rewrite.
Right.
Okay. So. Hello, ghost of Maximus, my dad.
That's crap, mate. You've got. From down here, son. Down here.
Okay.
Use your fucking nuts, mate.
I know you technically avenged your own death, but I would also like to avenge it, and I will do it better.
Maximus Jr., how are ya?
I'm all right, Dad.
You are a much stronger, more handsome and tougher warrior than I ever was. And women, if you would take your hands off your own nuts, would go nuts for you.
This is all true.
And, isn't it fucking excellent? Right? You can now park your chariot, right, at the front of the Colosseum. Have you ever tried?
High five, man.
Have you tried Maximus Pizza?
What?
Get in there, son. It's better than Nando's.
I mean, this is amazing. Oh, God. This is now your line.
Right, thanks for pointing that out. Now, Maximus Jr., off you go, you brave little bastard. Right, get in there, get out there, avenge me.
I will avenge.
Now,
I will
fuck
avenge
off.
your. I will avenge your death, Russell.
Benefits, Chelsea and Russell Crowe's rugby league team. We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back to Last Leg, where we're still joined by Russell Crowe, and I should mention The Water Diviner is out in cinemas here on April 3 all
That's
around
right,
the UK.
correct.
April the 3rd.
April the 3rd.
That's not just another film, April 3. This time it's personal.
Is this an Australian thing again? Are you is this?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to talk to... this is the first time we've had...
That's an English language thing.
Fine, OK. Right, let's jump back into the news
What I
now.
love is you're about to say, finally, we've got another antipode. Oh, no, wait, he slagged me off as well.
Back into the news now. Olivia asked, is it OK to make fat people lose weight or their benefits will be stopped? It's lose weight, there is spelt TH. I don't want to be the grammar police, Olivia, but have you been drinking?
I won't be the grammar police, but April 3.
David Cameron announced that people whose obesity or drug... I thought... OK. David Cameron announced that people whose obesity or drug and alcohol addiction stop them from working may have their benefits cut if they refuse help to combat their conditions. I'm a little bit torn on this issue because, on the one hand, I didn't even know that you can claim benefits for being obese or having an addiction, but on the other hand, you know, I know that if you're too addicted or too obese to work, it's probably a mental health problem and help needs to be provided. It's kind of like Katie Hopkins and the Dalai Lama are both shouting at me, and Katie Hopkins is louder.
Really, that's a vision of Celebrity Big Brother 2016. Dalai Lama and Katie Hopkins shouting at you.
How do you feel? I mean, Russell, have you ever claimed benefits?
No, I'm actually... I'm one of those fellas that... I'm really pleased that social welfare payments are in place. But if you're able-bodied, and you got, a brain, just get up and fucking do something. You know what I mean? When I was
See you later, guys. It's been a great show. But...
when I was a young actor, I was out of work a lot, and my choice then, was to just do whatever I could to earn a living. I've been one of those blokes that calls up trying to sell, extruded plastic to cover your walls, wall cladding.
Oh, I hope you did it in the Gladiator voice.
I've watched... That's where I developed that voice. I wash cars, I bust in the streets. But, my parents probably instilled in me a sense of personal pride about that sort of stuff, Now, I'm fully for a welfare state in that, if people are disadvantaged, they should be looked after.
Yep.
But if you're just lazy, fuck you, get off your ass, go to work.
David Cameron also said that young people out of work, education or training for 6 months will have to do unpaid community work to get benefits. This could involve making meals for older people, which it was a good thing. It does two things. It gives company and help to older people, but after a month of listening to a 90-year-old constantly telling you how much better things were in their day, teenagers would be desperate to get a job.
I read about that this week, and somebody compared it to slavery, making young people do community service to get their benefits.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, if that was the case, if 12 years a slave, all he'd have had to do was dish out meals in the soup kitchen, £57 a week benefit, it would have been a completely different film. It's not the same at all.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously you kind of... There's part of me that goes, if you're not trying to seek kind of help, then you shouldn't get the benefits. Like,
yeah.
I believe that if Alex isn't trying to grow a leg back...
But let's talk about obesity in the first place, though, right? Because, this is a thing that's happening right across the Western world.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's with countries who share the same food production methodology. Now, if you write out, the diet of your average Italian, in our culture, you're going to be fat if you eat that. But they don't have an obesity problem in Italy. But we've got one in Australia, there's one here in the UK, there's one in Japan.
Yeah.
And there's one in America, right? But we allow people to serve us shit and call it food to such a ridiculous degree. There's an emulsifier in Johnson's baby shampoo in Australia that is the emulsifier for cherry flavouring in America. What the fuck? One country's a soap and here it's a food? That's what has to be examined. The highest level of due diligence and responsibility should be applied to the people who provide food.
Do you know what? You can have this seat. This is awesome. You can totally have this there. Yeah, and look, that's an excellent point. And those are the points that aren't being made. It's all about the easy fixes. It's all about benefits. It's all about taxes. It's important to remember this is all just election year posturing. The Tories blame the poor, Labor blames the rich, and UKIP blames foreigners. And by the way, you know who pays way more in tax to the UK than they take in benefits? Immigrants. Like, way more. Between 2001 and 2011, immigrants to Great Britain paid £25 billion more in tax than they took in benefits. That's £2.5 billion per year. So when someone tells you immigrants are costing us money, that is...
bullshit. 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 Okay.
All right, let's talk sport now. And the Rugby League World Club Challenge is on this weekend between St Helens and the team co-owned by Russell Crowe, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, which prompted Ross Livingston to tweet, "Is it okay the real reason Russell Crowe is on the last leg is to give Adam Hills a lift to St Helens for the game?" Yeah, see, I've been a Rabbitohs fan since I was 3 days old, and my dad brought a red and green Rabbitohs toy rabbit into the hospital. Cool. And it is now the team that you own. Mm-hmm. And it's a weird one because... OK, why did you buy the team? What made you decide to buy into the team?
I don't know, it was a ridiculous decision. Probably one of the silliest of my life, but at the same time, one of the most deeply satisfying,
Yeah.
The team had become perennial losers, as you would know. When I was a kid...
that did look like you're calling Adam a perennial loser.
If you watch it back, you'll find that that's only because you brought that up. The thing is it got to a point of comedy that, I bought you the flat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
That,
all I gave you was a shitty script. I'm really sorry.
It got to
I've
that
got
point
a very
where,
big head.
when one of the teams got...
Have you got it in a larger size?
You have to do the bits on the back, mate.
You can adjust
I've
it.
got half your digits and even I did it.
It just got to a point, man, where it kind of started to anger me that they lost every year.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one year, one of the teams called Canterbury Bankstown had all their points stripped off them because of the salary cap issue, right? And so South came second last, and me and a bunch of my mates went out and celebrated. Hey, we're not last. You know? And the club was, asking me for money, and I gave them money for many years, and I just got to a point where I said, why am I giving you money? Nothing changes, nothing improves. I would rather actually own the club to ensure that we have a focus on football and not on the infighting and the politics, And so having said that out in a public thing, it actually took on its own life, and, we did end up buying the club, and it's 9 years later, and we've gone from being that perennial loser club to becoming competitive, then becoming dominant, and this year becoming champions.
For the first time in 43 years.
years.
Also,
Not doing that down there.
yeah. Now that I'm wearing this, it's going to go down pretty well in the UK, I can imagine.
Well, what I love is that, you are often giving out caps to the right people to get them to support the Rabbitohs. My favourite is this guy.
Yourself?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nailed him.
That's not... We haven't doctored that photo. That is the Dalai Lama wearing a Rabbitohs cap.
He did his entire press conference in Sydney with a Rabbitohs cap.
Did you mistakenly order too many Rabbitohs caps by any chance?
And Josh, look, Josh...
Oh, yeah, I thought I'd return the gift. I've got you a Plymouth Argyle scarf. There you go. And,
What league do they play in?
League Two, which is the best one.
I would have got you some Arsenal merchandise, but it's all too bloody expensive.
And I've got you a hat.
Okay.
And that's to take back to...
Cool. What league do the Bristol Robins play in?
The Bristol Robins, Bristol City.
Bristol City, yeah.
Are one higher than Plymouth.
Right.
To be honest, Russell, we're shit. But one day, you'll be wearing a backwards Plymouth baseball
This is actually licensed merchandise? This hat?
Are you taking the piss? Yeah. Are you getting your glasses out? That's proper embroidery, mate.
No, I love the badge. The badge is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well, listen, I've got a question
Look
for
at
you.
this, the snowflakes thing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you called the snowflakes?
It's winter!
You haven't got that in your jersey.
No, we don't have that. I've got the jersey. I've got a flag. I've got the jersey, mate.
You see,
Okay.
Do you know
you'll
what?
never catch a South Sydney fan doing that. That is sacrilegious. You owe every Plymouth fan a deep apology.
Well,
for
that's
doing
fine, because there's only 10 of them.
Cool. Maybe they should be the Plymouth.
Listen, I've got a question for you, Russell, because I know you're going to the game on Sunday.
Yep.
I'm going
you
to the
can
game.
have a lift.
So I have got a lift, thank you. Johnny Vegas is a comedian here who's going to be there because he's a St Helens fan, and he once ran on and played for St Helens in a testimonial game. And my question for you is, look, if we're doing well, if we're way in front and there's a couple of minutes left on the board, could I get a run? Okay, and I figured you'd go no, but you don't know that I played rugby league for the Janelli Boys High School B team when I was 12. I can still... OK, can we get the target out? I'm going to show you how well I can throw a football by bringing out a target. No. If you don't want to, it's fine. It's just thank you. Just... Listen. That is a lot more...
See, I tell you what, Russell, you thought Gladiator was high budget.
OK, so the question is, can I get it into the hole of Vladimir Putin's mouth? Oh! OK, one. I reckon I can do it in about 3 goes.
Oh!
OK, I'm really annoyed at myself now. Oh, hang on, he's gone upside down.
Oh!
Come on, let's keep going. Oh! Fine, I won't play for the Rabbitohs. Right in the nose. I'm right, I'm going to have one last shot. Surely I can get it this time. Come on, Vladimir. You know you... Oh! Dad, you know what? Damn right. Come here, Putin, you bitch. We'll have more last week for you after the break as we look at local politics and inspiration calls. Plus, we want to know who you're more scared about, ISIS, Putin or Bobby Beale. Tweet us at the last week. Hashtag at fear of ISIS, fear of Putin or fear of Bobby. See you soon. we're still joined by Russell Crowe. People have been tweeting in that apparently Josh looks like the bad guy from Where's Wally?
He does look like a dick today.
For a start, there is no bad guy in Where's Wally, is there?
Well, you just haven't seen him.
Best thing you've ever said.
That's a shame. And other people say you look like a middle-class bumblebee.
I don't think they've got a class system, mate.
Yeah, they do.
Do they? There's Queens.
Queens.
Not even I know that.
How do you get these blokes, mate?
That's a very good point, Russell.
And while Greece
It's funny, though, because he's wearing horizontal stripes and there's a lot of other people wear. It's like a rash. It's like measles. It's going on. She's got them on, the bloke behind, that bloke up there, the guy over there.
It's not Where's Wally.
They're all over the place. It's like they're taking out. Oh, another one. Bloody hell. What's going on?
On to the news now. And while Greece seems to have been granted an extension today on their loan by the EU, let's look at local politics. As Scott Rhodes tweeted, "Is it OK now Ant and Dec have given their views of the Labor Party? I can sleep easy. Not knowing has kept me awake for months." Look, this capped off a week of celebrities giving their views on the upcoming election, as Ant and Dec said they've lost faith in Labor, while former Oasis frontman Noel Gallagher described Labor as a waste of space and said Nigel Farage wasn't mentally capable of running a corner shop. Which is ironic. And look, you know things are going badly for Ed Miliband when even the Chuckle Brothers distance themselves from him. Because, you know, they'd hate to look stupid.
Do you know the Chuckle Brothers, Russell?
No, I don't.
If you don't know...
I was just checking, because there is one horizontal stripe up there. And one over there. But it's like most of them are over there. Sorry.
Are you having a breakdown?
I just wanted to have a look. I was wondering if it was like if they'd been like discriminating against. Oh God, the horizontal stripes. Let's keep them in front so they're not on the telly.
I feel like I'm at the invention of Where's Wally. That's what.
Andy Gilderdale said, "Is it OK to hope ISIS stick around for another 8 weeks just to see what Oxford call their reserve crew at the boat race?" Uh-oh, looks like it's time for our favourite news segment, the Jihadi Spot. Yes, Oxford have refused to rename their reserves boat, which is called ISIS, for their annual boat race against Cambridge, which is going to make commentary weird as you hear that ISIS are coming down the Thames.
The thing is, though, they said they wouldn't change it because they don't want to pander to the hype.
Yeah.
I don't want to break it to them, but ISIS is a little bit more than hype. It's like the 50 Shades of Grey film.
Sue Bedford said, "Is it OK that ISIS have a car recovery business in Oxford?" There is, yeah. I think it's ISIS Car Rescue is based in Oxford. They start out in Oxford, but then they want to take over Cambridge. Before you know it, they're using Southend as a gateway to Europe. And staying on the topic, it is important to remember that today's leader of an organisation rumoured to be associated with terror can become a figure of fun. As Sinn Féin's leader Gerry Adams admitted this week, he often trampolines naked with his dog for exercise.
Right, first things first.
Thank God it's for exercise.
How does a dog trampoline?
Well, I think he probably holds... No.
He holds it.
I don't know. I just pictured...
I am really excited about Ireland's Got Talent this year. Because I liked Ashley and Pudsey, but this is going to take it to a whole new level, isn't it?
And look, the good thing is Gerry Adams did stick to his old ways because he would phone the neighbours ahead of time to let them know that someone was going to be in the backyard.
Oh, come on, that deserved more!
I thought so.
That was funny, Adam. Don't listen to them not laughing at you. They might have thought it was shit, but I liked it.
We'll be back with more of The Last Week with Russell Crowe. Josh wraps up the last 7 days and Alex inspires us all. See you in a little bit. We're still joined by Russell Crowe, and Josh has found the forgotten few moments of the last 7 days.
Yeah, it's a special again. Now, you think Vladimir Putin is a creepy world politician.
Yeah.
I give you Joe Biden, the Vice President of the USA, and his hands-on greeting technique.
Okay.
2 clips. First, a few weeks ago, this is him, right, with the bald-headed senator's daughter. Look at what he does here. It's insane.
Thank you.
This isn't his daughter.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just like, there's no Santa.
no. No, back
No,
away,
no,
Joe.
don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh. Oh.
That is weird.
Okay, are you telling me it got weirder?
Yeah, every woman is at risk. Here he is again this week with the wife of a senator right in front of her husband. Look how long he keeps his hands on her shoulders.
I'm grateful to the president
Not his wife.
for your trust.
Not your wife, Joe.
Confidence.
Still not your wife,
US
mate.
Senate
Maybe leave it alone.
for their trust.
I think he's got, you know, those
He's
fingers.
going in for the
Going in.
L'Oreal.
You know the scene in Cape Fear when Robert De Niro gets Juliette Lewis to suck his thumb? That is less creepy than Joe Biden. Or as he's known in Washington, Joe Biden his time.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't like that one? Nikki Sweeney said, is it okay to call disabled people inspiring or is it just patronising? Hashtag inspiration porn. Now, this is because some people question the use of disabled people to market products this week after a couple of ads that appeared on American TV during the Super Bowl. One featured a Paralympian to sell cars, while another saw a boy with a prosthetic being used to promote a software company. And the idea of using disabilities to sell products has been dubbed inspiration porn by the late journalist and friend Stella Young. Is it okay?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would do actual inspiration porn. I'll take somebody said to me... No, hear me out, hear my theory on it, because I've been thinking about it. Somebody said to me...
I bet you have been.
Attempt 3 handstands before having sex on screen, I would.
That unbelievable. Unbelievable, everyone.
Honestly, yeah, it's great. There is a serious point to this, apart from the fact I would definitely do it. But it is nice because we moan about disabled people not being on screen enough and the fact that they're being used to promote something is good. It's like David Beckham promotes pants because he's a good-looking guy. He looks good in pants, so what's the difference?
I agree. The only thing I had a problem with was New York Fashion Week this week, where they had a whole bunch of disabled models, including this guy.
Oh, they didn't ask me.
No. Well, see, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right, because look at that guy's body. Now I've got no excuse to be... I can't blame the leg anymore.
You
I can't go...
see his body. He's got paint all over it.
Yeah, Adam,
Yeah.
I don't want you to get that ripped, because if you turned up dressed like that, I would not be on the show.
All right, let's go... is it OK, come in? Is it OK that I'm going to vote for Russell Crowe for PM in the general election? We are... Oh, now, the polls come in as well. We asked, what are you more scared about, ISIS, Putin or Bobby Beale? 16% said ISIS, 14% said Putin, 70% said Bobby. And one person said, fear of ISIS because I heard they formed a 70s rock and roll band to trick us, hashtag jihadi-wadi. That is pretty much all we've got
I got
time
more
for
than any of your jokes tonight, Adam.
Would you please thank our guest, Russell Crowe? Water Diviner, April 3rd, Rabbitohs on Sunday, and my co-host, Josh Whittaker! And Alex Brooker! Next week we'll be joined by Sarah